1972, my wife's grandmother passed away. And in the house, when we were going through the cupboard, we found 5 etched beer glasses. And fortunately, Lynn's mother gave all the glasses to me, and that got me started in the hobby. The majority of stuff I collect is pre-Prohibition, pre-1920. And that's my main focus. Corner signs is another. Most of the corner signs are from the 30s and early 40s. I like those also. But I'm really not interested in anything from probably 1950 on. I like the old stuff. And the signs are just so much prettier, and they're rarer. They're hard to find. Today, they're almost impossible to find. I love auctions, and I love estate sales. And as you go to these things, all of a sudden something pops up that's really interesting, you know? And then back in the 80s and 90s, I used to run a lot of ads in the papers. At that time, that was how the media worked. There was no internet, any of this kind of stuff, so you ran an ad. And I've got some interesting stories to tell you. This was in the early 1980s. The lady called me and she said, well, I was just digging a petunia patch and I hit this sign. She says, it's all caked in mud and dirt. There's a bird on it. And I'm thinking to myself, boy, that sounds to me like the Stork Brewery. And she said, do you want to come and look at it? And I said, I couldn't get in the car fast enough. I went up there, and sure enough, it was all caked in mud and dirt. And I took it home and I washed it, and this is what it is today. How long it was in that underground, I don't know. This little match holder comes from Charles Ham Brewing Company in Silver Creek, Wisconsin. No relation to the Ham's Brewery in Minnesota. But what this is, it's cast iron. It sat on the old bars back in the early 1900s. And when the guy wanted to smoke a cigar or cigarette, he just flipped that up and a match came out. It's probably 1890s to 1905, someplace in there. This is a very unique piece. It's a miniature toboggan is what it is. And it's hard to read, but what it says toboggan souvenir of St. Paul's first winter carnival and ice palace, opened February 1st, 1886. Compliments of Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company, J.E. Finch, who probably was the distributor. They must have handed these out as souvenirs. And I have never seen another one, and I'm guessing this might be the only surviving example that exists. My collecting focus would be probably West Bend Lithia. I like that because it's a brewery only 3-4 miles away, and it was a brewery I could find stuff from years ago. I mean, because that was in all the taverns around here. You'd walk into some of these old taverns and they'd still have some of this stuff hanging on the wall. I also collected the etched glasses. You know, they were always interesting to me. And I loved the corner signs. Through my collection, you'll see a lot of West Bend Lithia items, bottles, trays, signs. And that was my main focus. I got different signs from different people who have turned out to be real friends, you know, and other NABA members, you know, knew I collected certain things, like say the corner signs, and they might come across a corner sign. They give you a call. I mean, the NABA people are great. You know, they're just great people to get along with. I don't think I've ever had an argument with a NABA person ever. You know, they're just great, great people. The last thing you want to do is pass on something that you want, because if you pass on it, it's going to get sold to somebody else. I learned that many years ago at a flea market. I walked down an aisle and there was a nice etched glass sitting there, and I had it in my hand and I looked at it, and the guy had a price on it at that time was fairly high. And I'm not sure if I should buy this. And I set it back down. I walked up the aisle. I thought, you're stupid if you don't buy this. I went back there, it was gone. Somebody else bought it. So if you find something you like, you better buy it. That's the lesson to be learned.